Hello, everyone, and welcome here to RPG Limit Break. And welcome in to a second round of the Swiss rounds, 5 of them, that is, in the 2021 Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament. Alongside Aaron 2U2, I'm Ferran Burgundy, and we've got a matchup of a pair of rather accomplished racers who are both 0-1, had a little rotten luck in week 1 in Marashu and ryguy3745, and they're looking to turn things around. And the stats, Aaron, they do not look fantastic to start.
No, that is a lot of red and orange. We have a little bit of agility, which will help running away from the enemies they will probably not be able to kill at the start of the game.
Most certainly. Now, the object of Dragon Warrior is for our racers to find and defeat the evil Dragon Lord. They'll also need to collect certain key items to trade in for the Rainbow Drop, which will allow our runners to enter Charlotte Castle, the home of the Dragon Lord. They'll also be fighting enemies one at a time to gain experience and levels to get stronger, as well as gold to purchase weapons and armor and items to help in their quest. Oh my, and we have, well, it's a randomizer. We got to have things randomized. In this case, the overworld map, the treasure chests and search spot contents are randomized, as are the locations of the towns and caves, contents of the weapon and armor shops, the order in which they learn their spells, so they're guaranteed to learn all 10 of them by level 16, the enemy locations and enemy spells and abilities. And it looks like we are underway. King given the instructions. Let's see what we've got to start in the throne room. We have a cursed belt and some money, as well as the obligatory key.
It's a pretty standard or possibly boring start. With the belt and the money, they might try to just take a quick jump away from the castle and see if they can find a town and buy something good here right off the bat to alleviate their stat worries. And there is one right off the bat.
And of course it's Hawksness. Oh, this game loves to troll. The abandoned town with just enemies and no shops.
All right, well, we didn't start in Swamp. There's definitely plenty of it around. And Marishu takes our first death from a slime with, I believe that was Dragon Lord Breath?
That was Hurtmore.
Hurtmore, wow. That's exactly what you want to see when you have no attack power.
And Rygai finding out the bad news of the Hurtmore as well. And we've got a complete reset here, and I think Marishu forgot to save. So now he's going to have to start from scratch. We'll see if he opts to save in the throne room or go back in to save and potentially reset. Although I think that gold might be gone here. We'll see. There's a cave off to the east, and Rygai finds a Magidrakey and he is just trying to find something. And well, there is a town, and it's Rimuldar. So there's potential keys, and he's debating. He's going to go purchase keys with the little bit of money that he has. He knows that 323 gold is just enough for 6 keys, and oh no. Oh gosh, a bit of a misstep in the controller, a missed input. He walked up, but has just enough hit points to hang on here.
Yes, he cannot leave town again without healing, or he'll instantly die. He has 1 hit point.
Well, that's a little on the dramatic side. But he does get there, and with the keys being 53 apiece, 53 times 6, 318 gold. He'll have 5 left, and he won't be able to buy anything else. And actually, he won't be able to... he's going to take the long way around, because if he leaves town and walks on one of those swamp tiles that surrounds the town, he will death warp back to the castle. So he's at least going to get a little bit of a look here. We'll see what is behind the double doors here in Rimuldar. If it's something like Erdrick's armor or Erdrick's sword, it'd be fantastic, but it is a torch. So that's not very helpful. I'm going to get a peek here at the weapon and armor shop. We've got a club, broadsword, clothes, full plate, magic armor, and small shield.
Well, the torch might actually be useful the way things are going right now. They might be able to take out a ghost or something and get real close to that first level. But he's probably looking directly at the treasury right now, and something to alleviate the pain of this start. And honestly, finding Rimuldar the way he did with some money left, extremely fortuitous. This is going to be possibly a huge leap forward for him.
We have a second cursed belt. We have a fairy water here in the treasury. We have a set of wings. And we have the silver harp. So nothing spectacular in the treasury.
Right, and there was no gold, which is also worthy of note because there was plenty of good equipment he could have possibly done a grind on there if there was. Not necessarily now, but in the near future.
And that also was a very good maneuvering on the part of Rygai. Almost put on the cursed belt. Oh, but we do have gold in the Tantagel basement, so that means that there is a potential gold grind in play.
Right, and if there is a strategy, if he's particularly, and it looks like he might be doing that, just going back all the way to the Stones Cave to get more gold. If he does that and is able to save, all right, maybe he's just going in to save right now and wants to go back and get some gear from Rimuldar before he even attempts any more fighting.
Well, with 524 gold, wow, the most he'd be able to get would be a club, a set of clothes, and a small shield. I mean, that'd be good for 4 extra attack and math. That would be 2 plus 4, 6 defense.
And we see that fairy water he picked up plus the torch. Looks like it'll be just enough. Nope, not quite enough to kill the Drake mob.
Heal, and Rygai says, nope, I'm resetting and getting that back.
Yeah, that's a good strategy there. You gotta; those are your most valuable attack weapons right now. You gotta keep those and make sure they go off on something good.
Now, I will give a fair warning, as we do have some pretty severe thunderstorms that are rolling here in my area. So if I drop off, you know that Mother Nature decided to knock out my electricity.
Right, and I think both runners have mentioned that, so they must all be sort of in the same area. I'm fine, though, so I don't know. I can't really announce if nobody else is here, unfortunately, but at least one of us can persevere.
Well, I think worst case scenario, I may have to switch to cell phone strats, which will be bowling shoe ugly, but we'll try to persevere.
All right. Now, looking over at Marishu, he does, I believe, has 3 experience now, so he's getting close. That first level could be a lot, or, as we see in Rygai's case, it could just be a lot of slime deaths.
Now, I guess that what Rygai's doing is a little time-consuming, but it might almost behoove him with the keys to maybe do a little bit of a gold grind into the back here. But, well, here is the level. 5, 1, 2, 8, and a new spell of Heal More.
All right, with the magic you'll have, that's 1 cast. That will definitely be useful getting out of the swamp. Might be useful grinding, but there's few enemies that I think... No, actually, it still could come into play here. But now he's got enough attack to take out the slimes before they can hurt more, and possibly kill some of these other weaker enemies, Ghost and Drakey.
Well, he's going to go in and get another fairy water. Probably pick up some more keys here. Asmati, the treasury, it had the silver harp, a fairy water, a cursed belt, and some wings. But we did have gold in the back basement of Tantagel, as it was the Vanilla Stones cave. And I'm kind of surprised that Ry didn't... Well, I guess Ry's option is to not get gold right now. He's just looking to throw fairy waters at enemies.
And yet another enemy with heal.
Has heal also, and he didn't save, so he's just going to run.
Right, just negated the whole thing. Like, I guess if you get another one to go off, it's not worth really... Oh, you're right, he did not reset. So there's not much you can do. But a magician should go down? Yep, there we go. He can always go back in and get more fairy water. It's a bit slow, but considering what Marishu is having to go through, I am not sure that it is any worse.
Now, I'm pretty sure that those keys to get the fairy water and then go into the... Did he spend money to buy more keys?
Yes, I think he's up to 4 now. Or 3 or 4. And Marishu getting his first level, which should be a great relief. The enemies he's been trying to run from constantly over the ghosts or something he can now kill with some success. And Rygai got level 3, but we noticed he got 0 attack. So he's still kind of in the same position he was 5 minutes ago.
And that's why I wonder, it might have been a little more time-consuming earlier, but to potentially utilize those keys to go in and get, like, it's a very lengthy grind, but get up to that 1,500 gold and go back to Rimuldar. Well, obviously save, because it's going to be a trek and a half to get back there. But to get that broadsword, that's 20 additional attack power, and that would be huge here in this early game.
Yeah, it's something he has to have in his mind, but you have to wonder, too. You get one more level, and maybe you get 20 attack power. Like, it could just be there, and he also has no idea what Marashu has done in the meantime. Although, the fact that he found Rimuldar, he can't expect that his opponent also found it, because that was a heck of a journey with 3 hit points to spare.
Well, Rygai is also an explorer/gambler. Like, he'll definitely roam out there to try to find something, thinking that it will be a difference maker. In this case, it certainly was, at least to a degree, but how does he capitalize on it is the question.
Marishu getting that very non-useful level 3, but also seeing, I think, the cave to the right for the first time, and maybe he might just run over that way. You never know what sort of thing could be there. You know, mountain or grave where you're able to get to the treasure is kind of lucky, or it still could be tablet cave. He doesn't know that the stones cave is in the castle. So, 50% chance of a treasure chest that could change some things around. Might be worth it if you can get to it.
Well, I don't know how many steps it'd necessarily take to get there, but it might be borderline to the point where you have practically no health to be able to do anything once you get into there. Actually, yeah, I think that was 10 or 11 steps, so that would leave with max HP for Marashu maybe 2 hit points. And oh, look, there's a wizard.
And this is Mountain Cave, so there is a chest that is not too tricky to get to that might have something good. We did see Rygai get level 4, which gave him 2 strength and I believe 12 agility, so still a pretty good chance to run away and some decent defense for the level, but nothing that's going to help him against a Stone Man, unfortunately.
Yeah, so those are some beefy enemies in there, but we do know that there's access to 5 treasure chests in there. They're not blocked by keys. But you have those wizards and stone men in the mix here. And Rygai is debating what to do. If you need more gold, there's a basement that has it, and you can buy more keys with it. Nope, Rygai's going to go right back in and say, forget those wizards, forget those stone men. I'm just going to gamble and say, 33 agility is enough to run away from them.
It does look like it took 10 steps in the swamp to get there, so it's pretty beat up. That's quite a Hail Mary. But he managed to use the heal more, survived just long enough for the Stone Man to send him right back.
Yeah, this is definitely in the bold strategy cotton, let's see if it pays off for him type approach.
Well, I imagine in this scenario with the sort of enemies he's fighting, you either keep going back in and getting that fairy water, or you're hoping for something. So here's attempt number 3. Of course, considering what he's been fighting, it might Oh, and there's the wizard. Took one hit and right back to Tantagel. Marishu's now exploring the mountain cave. Let's see if he gets something lucky out of this.
Well, there's a scorpion. We haven't seen that yet, and he's gonna give it a try here. This might be a little dangerous. Yeah, you're only hitting 1, maybe 2 HP on it at this point. And there's a Drakey, so here's some decent encounter luck thus far. Marashu's gonna get to that first chest, and it's some gold.
I can never complain about gold, but the thing will be if he can find a good use for it before he ends up giving all of it back to King Lorik.
There's the fairy flute. That can be used on the golem.
Potentially useful later. Right now is just kind of hogging up some inventory space. All right, and both of our players...
Rygai, you're down to 1 key and no money. Do you realize what you're doing? No, he is just tunnel visioning on that mountain cave. He just wants those 5 chests, key inventory and gold inventory be damned.
Marashu's taking the opposite approach, has a heal more, has a little bit of money, wants to find something, and he sees
Rimuldar. And he's found Rimuldar, and Rygai's advantage has been negated, running into the brick wall that is the mountain cave, over and over and over and over again.
So we'll probably see the shop here in Rimuldar in just a moment, but I believe the highlights were
I did take down the notes on it. I do have the notes of what's in that weapon shop. We have a club, broadsword, clothes, full plate, magic armor, and small shield. Yeah, I was thinking broadsword, you might just want to go, well, now Rygai remembers, oh yeah, there's gold down here.
I'm actually surprised that he abandoned the fairy water strats. He's barely gained any strength. He's still very weak, but with a couple of good fairy waters, you can kill a good selection of these second-tier enemies, which might be something that will be in his way very soon, especially like those skeletons in the mountain cave.
Well, I don't know if he abandoned it, he just only had 1 key left.
Right, I didn't mean to say that he just completely forgotten about it, but... And I guess it would take quite a long time to go back in and get the gold and get keys over and over and over again. That's a pretty hefty investment. Looks like the innkeeper's wife was blocking Marishu there, but now he finally got in. Unfortunately, a warlock is still a little bit beyond this strength capability, and Rygai gets sent home once more, and then so does Marishu. So we're still kind of rubber banding back to Tantagel, and just hoping to find some strategy or some good luck to get out of this little prison that we have here.
Well, at this point. Okay, now... Oh, I see what Rye's doing. So he opened a chest, so that's 4... So Rygai actually has a gold grind set up right now. Because this should be chest number 9. He opened 1 in the mountain cave, death warped back. That was another 3 in the throne room, and plus the 4 in the treasury. So that's 8. So now this 9th chest, the gold chest, he'll be able to take the gold over and over again because that chest will not disappear.
Nice. That will that's some good gear right off the bat. That'll let you last a little bit of time with this stuff. The broadsword especially, a huge attack boost when they're not able to kill anything.
So this is that's why he was so adamant on getting to at least that first chest, because he knew that a gold grind would be, useful move that. Useful.
The genius that was hidden behind the madness.
Exactly. I had a feeling there was a method to his madness. Now he's going to go up to more than what I thought, apparently. He's going to 10,785. He's going to spend 7,700 for the magic armor, another 1,500 for the broadsword, and then another 90 for the small shield. So that should be 9,290.
That is some good mathing there, along with a full set of keys if he really feels like it, and a little bit of money to spare, just for, Well, I guess there's no trinkets you can really buy in Rimuldar. It just has just the weapons and the keys, and that's it.
Yeah, there is no item shop, so no way to get rid of those cursed belts that you found. And, well, I understand what DK is saying, and I wouldn't take the defending champion's words lightly. I think that a lot of people would have just done that slow grind in the beginning and taken it easy all the way up to that 1,500 to get the broadsword, knowing that right now offense is very limited, and that would allow you to take care of those ghosts and Magidrakes, and that would really set you up and not take an additional 10, 12 minutes as it has here for Rygai to get to this point at least.
And speaking of gold grind, Marishu has done the same thing, although it looked like he tried to leave, so maybe he didn't even realize that. But now he's heading into rich man territory and should be able to, with some luck, get back to Rimuldar and be able to do pretty much what Rygai has just done. Although it's also quite possible he forgets what was there and is just going for, straight on Monopoly money here.
Well, I don't know if Marashu saw what was in the shop or necessarily took notes.
Right, it looks like he went up to a little over Silver Shield money, or maybe that could also be, combination Flame Sword and magic armor, just in case. But I think he'll still be pretty happy with what they got there. Broadsword isn't too much worse than a Flame Sword, anyway.
Yeah, although if it were if it were Flame Sword and magic armor money, that would be 17,500. So Marishu would actually be short by 1,500.
Okay. I was guessing on the math there.
Yeah, 9,800 for the flame sword and 7,700 for the magic armor. Yeah, that would be 17,500. And yes, these are thrilling stats. We have the town right by the start, which to the surprise of nobody is Hawksness. And there is a little ways away, the town of Rimuldar. Rygai found it early and then was trying on numerous occasions to go into the mountain cave just to the east of Start to set up a gold grind, because we do have gold in the Tanagel basement, the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight cave. And, well, you see here, we've got the magic armor, broadsword, and small shield. And it has certainly taken its toll here. So we have a combined 116 experience 22 minutes in. Oh, and now it's up to 120-something. 124.
Yeah, but now that they've gotten a certain amount of gear, the slow start might be opening up. We're still looking for a little bit of strength on one of these levels, but they have the capability of fighting most.
What a nice crit on Rygai's side on the wolf. And that gets him 40 experience in level 5, 3 power, 12 more speed, 6 hit points, 1 magic point, no spells. And Rygai going to continue the exploration. And look, there's another town. We know it's not Hawksness. It is Cole.
Cole definitely has the opportunity to have something good here. Looks like he was looking for a large shield. Didn't see it there, but one of the key items is here, or nothing is here. So let us see what he has, and it is the sword. It's an excellent pickup this early in the game. Replaces a lot of that weakened attack power, and now he can fight most of the middle enemies in the game. Everything short of Sharlock and some of the enemies outside of it. But that doesn't help against a Stone Man if they're not going to let you go.
No, not at all. And even with Erdrick's sword at this point, now up to 56 attack. Yeah, you're doing a damage range of 9 to 18. You'd have to last 10 rounds with the Stone Man, and definitely don't have the HP to do that. You can maybe go 2 if you're lucky.
Exactly. You're still got to find some good enemies to fight. If you can get back to that wolf, that is an excellent enemy to grind for a few levels. And he did gain level 5, but we still, again, didn't see much boost there. We're still very much on the low side here. Nice fighting the Droll, who I believe sent him back with Hurt More a couple minutes ago.
Well, I knew the Droll had Heal. I didn't see if it also had Hurt More.
As I believe it does. Oh, and Marishu gets a lucky crit, too, and has a chance of getting this wolf now. I think that is 35 damage, and he did it.
So both of them critting on a wolf to get to level 5. And now Rygai doesn't have any torches, is going to do the walk here. It looks like it's Swamp North. And indeed it is. So it's going to take the long trek down. See if maybe the south end of the Swamp Cave backdoors into the back of Garanham, potentially.
Alright, it's always worth a quick check, assuming you can get through it. And
alas, it does not. It goes to somewhere else in the world. Ooh, a max HP rolling Metal Scorpion. They can go up to 18 HP, and Rygai attacked for 17, so that was a little unfortunate.
Alright, he did finish it off, and now here is level 6. Looks like 4, 12, 2, 17, and our spell of Return. Or excuse me,
got
Repel.
Return and Repel, yeah. And it looks like not too long after Marishu has found the Swamp Cave as well. So things pretty even for our runners, although Marashu found the Swamp Cave wait a minute. Oh, are you kidding me? Did Swamp South just end up a little north of... Oh my goodness. So this is all a single continent. That is hilarious. So Swamp North is just southwest of Swamp South.
It's good, but unfortunately they're not quite in the right orientation, or it would be very geographically accurate how far you have to go. But yeah, I think he's going to figure that out real quick, too.
Well, and it looks like Rygai has... Where has he gone back to here?
He is in the grave.
He's in the grave. Okay, that's what I thought. Oh, and there's Erdrick's token. And some gold. And an herb.
Alright, looks like he's, I think he's just walking around in circles, hoping to get sent back again.
Well, I guess he figures he doesn't necessarily have the resources. Although, if he can two-shot this here, and he's got a chance. And 275, so another one of those to get the level, but I'm not sure what he's going for here. He's not... well, okay. He realizes, wait, one more of these will get me the level. Oh, but he low-rolled a little bit there. He's going to have to do it on this hit, and does not.
It looked like he just wasn't completely sure what he wanted to do there. If he'd thrown the heal more earlier, he might have got it, but then he also might have fought something he didn't want to fight, so kind of a difficult decision in that case.
Yeah, he just happened to roll high on the first one, as his range right now on attacking a Wraith Knight is about 8 to 16, and it can have up to 40 HP, so He got lucky to 3-shot that one. And now Rai's going to the south and seeing that there's really nothing over there.
It looks like the entire map is north and east because we're already at the western half of the continent too. So not too much space to go, and Marashu's getting his level 6, which is useful but not great.
Well, that 12 agility is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, that's another 6 defense. It's almost the equivalent of going from a small shield to a large shield. Actually, it is the equivalent of that.
Well, I didn't mean to badmouth the level. It's just right now they're all just looking for strength. If they get another 10, 15 points, they can start hitting some of these things that are otherwise killing them and have a real shot.
Well, now it looks like Marishu is in the grave and has picked up the top 3 chests. At least I'm pretty sure he got the token there first.
And looks like he's digging further. He might try to, just go down as far as you can go, but unfortunately, Erdrick.
Oh, fire-breathing murder bats.
And Rygai finding his friend the Wraith Knight again. It looks like oh,
and it dodges.
Unlucky. Well, unfortunately, there's not much you can do about a dodge, and you can only pick certain enemies at this point in the game. There's nothing that's been really good for them except maybe the wolf, but even that is going to take a few kills to get anywhere.
Well, Rai knows that he's just 10 experience away from the level. So he's just going to... Well, alright, he needs one more slime after this.
And to slime his way to level 7.
Every little bit helps. And yeah, the Wraith Knight dodging twice in that fight, it's normally 4 out of 64 chance, so that was rather unlucky. And what was that? 2, 2, 1, and 3, and a spell? But it's hurt more.
Right, you got heal and hurt more, and that was definitely worth that small slime grind. Now, it's all offense all the time.
And now, 31 minutes in, the seed can begin. And Rygai casts Repel, and he knows he's repelling a bunch of monsters. Pretty much everything below the Wyvern, I want to say.
I think he just clips the Wyvern, too, but that's
Does
fine.
He just clip the Wyvern?
Yeah, I think they're 56, but that's fine.
Yeah, they are 56. Okay, wishful thinking. But the Knight, that works.
Yeah, Knight is one of the best hurt more enemies you can find, Knights and Magic Wyverns, so that is a zone we'll probably see him stick in for a little bit.
Well, yeah, and I think were the Wraith Knights over there too?
They were. Those enemies are, I mean, he can fight them down, but they are very hurt more resistant, unfortunately.
Well, they're a little bit more than the Knight. I think it's a 3 out of 16 resistance versus the Knight, which has a 0 out of 16 hurt resistance. So I can see why Rai would want to go. Plus, the Knight gives a little bit more experience than the Wraith Knight, 78 versus 72. Either way, a hurt more now gives level 8 here to Rygai, and off to the races. 4 power, 1 speed, 13 hit points, 8 magic points, no spells, 26 strength at level 8. And Rygai, rather than going to an inn, is just going to take a death warp here.
I guess that's one way to get your magic refilled, and now he has, I believe that is 7 casts of Hurt More, so definitely has the ability to do some damage, and directly into Hawksness, hoping for some good luck.
Yeah, that I think was the plan, and well, there is a Wyvern because he didn't cast Repel, and it has Sleep, but there's the defense break, 0 damage. Take your Hurt More, and there's 64 experience.
Nice. It's definitely still an enemy you want to see when you can see it.
And it's a golem now. Oh, that's right. Rye did not get the fairy flute. Oh, perfect bid. 50, or 43 rather.
And with this attack power, I don't know if the golem is even fightable. They would be doing very little damage. Even spamming that fairy flute it'd eat up your entire magic resources, I imagine.
And yeah, you'd have to land on average 12 attacks on the golem to potentially take it out. You're doing a damage range of 9 to 18 on your melees, and it has up to 153 HP. So, 12, maybe 10 if you're lucky, if they're higher rolls. But Rygai sees this little area here with the Wraith Knights and the Knights and is wisely just going to go and do a little Hurtmore grind here.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. It's good experience, and it's easy to get to, and the Knights aren't doing anything troublesome, so you might as well take out a few on your way to something more interesting. And Marashu's found coal.
Well, I believe he found coal before because he already has the Erdrick sword, so he's just going to go in for a refill. And we thank those of you from Randomania who are joining us here. Welcome on in. Alongside Aaron 2U2, I'm Ferran Burgundy. We have a race between a pair of 0-1s here in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer second Swiss round of the tournament. We have Marishu taking on ryguy3745. We're about 35 minutes in. Both of our runners have found Erdrick's sword in the town of Cole. They found the Silver Harp in the Tanagil Treasury. Rimuldar was just a little north of start. And we have we have the Swamp Cave North and Swamp Cave South very close to one another.
Alright, right now Marishu is just a little bit of experience away from hitting level 7. And I believe level 7 is when we saw Hurtmore drop, which explains the largest difference we have right now between these two runners and their experience levels.
Yeah, just a little advantage on Rygai's part, utilizing the Hurtmore. Has found a nice spot over to the northeast of Tanagil Castle, the zone that happens to have Knights and Wraith Knights, and has just been Hurtmoring those for 72 to 78 experience apiece. And Rygai now looks like is going to go into the Swamp Cave, and oh, Marishu didn't pick up Erdrick's token earlier. I stand corrected.
Oof, that could have been bad if you had thought you did and then never decided to go back and check those.
Yeah, I guess he got the 2 on the right and never got the 3rd, but in either case, Rygai takes down an Armored Knight, and here's another one. Ooh, I don't know. Is he going to be able to withstand this attack? Yes, he does.
It's not a terrible grind. I wonder, it's probably a little bit faster than what he was doing with the Knights outside, especially considering how far away it is, which isn't very far at all.
And I think Rygai was just taking a death warp there, knowing that his resources were low.
Alright, Marishu is now unlocked Hurtmore, is unlocked the big damage, and looks to just be continuing going through Grave here. See if they can find those 4th and 5th treasures.
That's right, there's still more of the mountain cave to explore, as Marishu got as far as the second chest in the cave, which had the fairy flute. Here's level 10, 6 power, 2 speed, 15 hit points, 13 magic points, and the spells of Heal and Sleep.
Sleep is always a fun spell, but it's usually better a little bit earlier, especially early on would have been great with the struggles they had at the start. For those who are rating, just for general information, we started with a 6 attack power, the town of Hawksness nearby, a giant swamp just to the right, and a whole lot of enemies that were just one-shotting our players. But they did manage to make it to Rimuldar, which had keys, which unlocked a gold grind, which has now given them the magic armor, the small shield, and briefly the broadsword before Erdrick's sword became available.
Erdrick's sword was in Cole, which was pretty well due east of Rimuldar, and pretty well northeast of Tanagil Castle to start. Now, Rygai is here in the mountain cave, and it looks like he's trying to make his way down into the second floor. I believe bypass that gold chest knowing what it is, and well, he's going to take care of this Wraith Knight, and then we'll pick up his Fairy Flute. That we know, but we don't know the other three, as Marishu takes out a green dragon. Yep, there's the Fairy Flute for Rygai. So now both our runners have the Fairy Flute. And then we have an herb and a set of wings up top.
Right. This is a very heavy time investment, but if he manages to find something very good at the bottom of the grave, it's, not likely that Rygai is going to dive that anytime soon. And he finds the fighter's ring, which is nice.
Probably going to want to trade in one of those cursed belts for that. Hey, you put it on, it gives you 2 additional attack power.
It's unlikely that Rygai is going to miss that if he decides not to go back into the grave. But if he does, then he's probably going to be slightly disappointed.
Well, I know from knowing... I've watched Rygai run a lot of seeds. He tends to try to avoid having to go deep into Garen's grave if he doesn't have to. Well, speaking of grave, we have the Death Necklace here at the end of the mountain cave.
The way things are trending right now, that could be very useful.
And Rygai was a little indecisive. He's gonna try to melee this out here and maybe see if he can squeeze a little bit more experience before death warping.
I think he wants to death warp and not fight, but he doesn't have an option that doesn't use a resource that he doesn't want to throw away. Like, he was looking at that fairy water. I mean, he could use the Fairy Flute, but that thing is slow.
Yeah, he figures meleeing will help, and best case scenario, actually, I don't know if there's necessarily a best or worst here. I mean, he either takes the death, or he gets a little bit more experience.
Now, is the heart any faster than the flute in battle? I know it plays, but I think it's about the same length of time.
I think they're both about the same. I think he figures, good scenario is he takes the death, and worst case scenario, oh no, he gets a little more experience and is closer to level 11. The armor's slowly healing him, but the knight finally takes him out here, 0 and 0. All out of resources, but is only 216 experience away from level 11.
Alright, and the way the levels have been, we're still expecting something to break through here pretty soon. We've had a lot of middling ones, a couple of double digits, but nothing too fancy. And it looks like he's going to try to use that flute on the golem. His attack power is definitely in the range where this is a little bit more realistic now.
Yeah, 77 attack power, that is a range of 11 to 23 on the golem, so with average rolls, you're looking at 9 attacks.
Looks like our AK-47s have hurt more, which will probably do about the same amount of damage that their normal attacks do. Nothing too crazy in a difference there. But yes, one more level to proceed against the golem. Or, nope, looks like he's going to grind that out first.
Yeah, not a bad idea. And he realized he probably should have used Heal More first. He's going to go on the Star Wyvern here and use a Hurt More for that. Yeah, 2175, the target number to level 11. It's one that always throws people off, the 25 versus 75. But here we go, 2,236, more than enough. Here's level 11. We've got 10 power, 1 speed, 21 hit points, and 1 magic point. And both of those were things that Rygai was looking for.
Well, he's going after it. He's got a decent chance. He lost a lot of resources, which is it's going to hurt, but that extra 10 attack power might carry the weight here.
Yeah, now you're looking at an attack range of 14 to 28, so it should take 8 attacks on average, as his attack power now up to 87.
And that extra hit points he got makes the heal more very very juicy, so he probably gets a whole extra hit he can take from the golem. Just in case the thing doesn't want to stay asleep.
Which is possible. Sometimes the fairy flute only plays a nap tune as opposed to a long slumber tune. But Rygai does take out the golem, and we find the Stones of Sunlight.
So we found our 3 vital items now. Depending on what you call Erdrick's armor being vital, but the 3 that are absolutely required in this flag set. So at this point, it's grinding and finding.
Yeah, the 3 gatekeeper items is probably a good way to describe them, as they are what keeps our runners out of Charlotte Castle. Those are required for access to them, or to that castle. But yes, Erdrick's armor, while not officially required, for all intents and purposes, you're going to want to have it for the Dragon Lord. And yes, story progress items, that's another good way of putting it.
Yeah, they're the items that you love to find early, but not in the search spots. Because you always want to, just anytime you hit the search spot, you're hoping for the armor, I think.
Well, our runners have covered a lot of ground in terms of treasure chests and search spots. All we have left outside of Charlock are the 3 in the back of Garenham, 1 deep in Garen's grave, the Tablet Cave, and potentially the Overworld spot.
I think, you're talking from Rygai's perspective, yes. And
from our viewing perspective, yes, I'm tracking everything that both of our runners have encountered combined.
All right, did Marishu not get all of the items in the grave? I thought he did.
I thought that the Fighter's Ring was the penultimate one and still had to go deep into the grave.
All right, that might have been the case. I might have missed. I thought that I had lost track of the 4th item, so interesting. But now Marishu's going in to get that item as well. A little bit lower on resources, but level 9 will definitely help with that decent power boost, and will give him a chance as long as he's able to keep on those heal mores and doesn't let his hit points fall too low.
Well, yeah, 70 hit points versus 48 for a max is rather large. And here comes level 12 for Rygai. We have 16 power, 6 speed, 11 hit points, 22 magic points, and the spell of Outside.
Not bad. Honestly, the stats are kind of coming together now. We still need that strength, but a little bit more hit points and just a little bit more strength, and we might be there.
Well, that puts the attack into triple digits. So, for example, that wizard has a maximum of 65 HP, and oh, hi, Charlock. With the attack range now being 17 to 34 on a wizard, that golem we were talking about, it's now 18 to 36, so that's 6 shots on average. Yeah, it's a rather nice level, but obviously our runners want more.
Alright, Marishu taking out the golem without too much worry at all. Gets the stones and should be sent after this to, again, just find what they need to find and get some levels and get ready to go.
So I think the difference here really was the 6-minute lead that Rygai had on getting the level 7 with Hurtmore. Because that's really been the difference. Both of our runners have pretty well explored the same things. Rygai has not gone back into Garen's grave, but I think in terms of potential opportune chests, Rygai knows that Garenham's out there somewhere. The back of Garenham is either going to have the tablet cave, or it's going to have one of the two trading caves.
And I think, yeah, we found everything else with the exception of Cantlin, correct? We haven't found Cantlin, which could have something on the search spot, but I haven't seen a lot of belts yet, have we?
We have seen 2 cursed belts thus far. We saw one in the throne room and one in the Tangential Treasury. And Rygai getting a crit here on this red dragon, which has heal. No way of casting stop spell for Rygai, and he's just going to melee through it, and it's enough. Yeah, nice crit, bad numbers. That was nearly a minimum roll on the crit. And one step later, there's another red dragon, and Rygai, trying to run because he knows his resources are low, does get away on the second attempt.
And Marishu kind of hitting the jackpot there with Garenham. Possibly, we have to see what's actually in here. But that's the big target you're looking for right now because it has the most amount of chests available yet.
Replacement key, we have a torch. And some gold. So there's another slight slow grind. Let's see what's in the back of Garenham here. And it is the Staff Trading Cave. So our runners will trade in that Silver Heart for the Staff of Rain. And now they're going to be looking for the Rainbow Drop Cave, affectionately known as the Jerk Cave. Because the old man in that cave, if you don't have all the items, specifically Erdrick's token, he will kick you out of the cave like the jerk that he is.
Yep, and you wonder now, with that pickup, Marishu still hasn't finished off Mountain. Might be thinking of going back there to initiate the gold grind to get to Garenham. With Hurtmore and with the stats that he has, it's fairly safe to do.
Now here is level 10 for Marashu. Rygai encountering a metal slime. Oh, it has hurt. Alright, that's not terrible. But the attack power, not quite enough to do more than a 0 to 1 chance. And I believe Rygai's got 2 hits on it. It has a maximum of 3 HP. And it's still sticking around. Casting another spell of hurt. And he gets it.
All right, and in the meantime, apparently Cantlin is just south of Garenham, so Marishu has seen all of the towns now, I believe. Well, I think... Have we seen Breckenary, or, maybe it doesn't matter?
No, I was going to say, all of the worthy towns. I mean, unless Breckenary is the only one that has, say, a large shield or something, but otherwise, all the other towns have proven their usefulness thus far.
Breckenary is on the other continent that doesn't have any connector to it.
Well, I think in terms of programming, it can't, just in case you accidentally curse yourself. Well, here is Garenham, so Rygai not too far behind here, but that experience lead is, it's up to 2,300 at this point, and we have no coordinates. Thou must go and fight. So that means that Erdrick's armor is in a treasure chest somewhere, and... Oh, that means that there is, as I'm just doing my math here, there is a 77% chance that Erdrick's armor is in Charlotte Castle.
So at this point, what do you think? I think if I'm Marishu, I'm definitely going back to the mountain cave. But do I try for the last item in the grave? I don't know that that's worthy of that effort. And that's it, right? There's nothing else, nowhere else it can be. Oh no, there's still Tablet Cave outstanding somewhere.
Yep, Tablet Cave and Deep in Garen's Grave are the only two that have yet to be encountered, and oh look, there's Breckenary. And Marashu left the town of Breckenary, and there was much rejoicing. Yay!
And he knew it had to be Breckenary, and he still went in. That shows some perseverance there. Full completion.
Well, it was probably just a brief attempt for the memes.
One less, or 2 less hit points he took in damage from the swamp.
So now Rygai is going to go and trade in his Silver Harp for the Staff of Rain. So both of our runners are still looking for the Rainbow Drop Cave, and when they get there, they're going to be able to just trade everything in right off the bat. They won't have to do any doubling back.
Yeah, there's not too much left to do, except for getting those levels, which, I mean, 1 hefty strength boost and 13 might be it. And of course, there's always the option of getting that silver shield that we saw in Garanham. Marishu's found the remaining exploration over here. I thought for a moment he might have drifted away from it. That's an unpleasant cave sighting, I think.
Oh, goodness. That may require a little bit of wandering. And a great point in chat, the irony that as far as the character sprites for both of our runners, we have Ragnar versus Healy, the 2 individuals who are teammates in Chapter 1 of Dragon Warrior 4. Healy trapped inside the well, and Ragnar goes and rescues him, and and then Healy accompanies Ragnar through the rest of the chapter. Ooh, 17 power at level 13. 13 more HP, so they're in Death Necklace range.
Honestly, those stats are really close. I don't think he's quite there yet, but...
oh, no, it's definitely not Go mode, not even close, but, well, okay, it's close to Go mode, but the strength is the one thing that is holding back at this point.
Yeah, and I think that's 10 heal mores worth, and the attack rate, you're probably looking... Yeah, it's just a little too much to overcome without getting a whole lot of luck. Nothing that you would roll the dice on at this point.
Now, 5 to 10 hit points of damage on the second form of the Dragon Lord. That would average out to about 22 attacks, and with only 10 heal mores, definitely not in that way. And to answer the question, we don't know whether or not the armor is in Sharlock, and Marishu checking the Spark over bridge spot, even though we know that there's no coordinate spot. It's in the ever rare hope that maybe, just maybe, the overworld spot will be will contain an item just in one tile over the bridge. And here is the tablet cave that Marishu has found. So we will see if to answer your question, there are 9 spots left. 7 of them are in Sharlock, and both of our runners are looking for Erdrick's armor. So we'll see here in the tablet cave in a moment.
Yeah, armor this far in tablet cave, it's not as bad as having it in Sharlock for sure, but it's a heck of a way to go to get it. And I mean, if Rygai sees the jerk cave first, wherever that might be, he might not die for it. But unfortunately, it's an herb or a key. And possibly even more unfortunately, Marishu does not have outside, so has to walk out of the tablet cave the same way he came in.
Yeah, if an item is in there that you already have full inventory of, whether it be an herb or a key, the chest will come up as empty.
Well, Ryguy's finishing that southern exploration, which we know there's nothing there. The Jerk Cave, I believe, has to be somewhere northeast of where Marishu is, or north. And nope, he's not waiting around, going straight back.
Yep, finding Erdrick's empty, apparently.
Actually, is this something we've seen before? I think Rygai, yep, he has found the
He's
Jerk
in a
Cave.
new direction. There is the Rainbow Drop Cave. So now Rygai just needs the armor and levels.
And Marishu, as expected, is going right back into the mountain cave. There he will find the Death Necklace, and that's about it at this point. But also could be setting up for another gold grind to get that silver. It's not necessary, but we have no idea what's in Sharlock yet. So it could definitely come in handy and may be worth the effort.
Yeah, and the agility is all right, but the defense overall is meh. Another empty chest, we know that is an herb.
Right. And on top of the exploration, we're still a huge swath of XP difference here. Rygai got a lot of grinding done on those nights with Hurtmore, and I don't believe Marishu has really slowed down to grind yet. Just taken whatever he's found along the way.
So looking at the inventory, that does confirm that the Tablet Cave did have an herb. Dragonlord 2's attack power is 140. To answer the question in chat, and Marashu is taking a death here, so I think that there might very well be a gold grind number 2 coming here for Marashu to pick up the silver shield, which compared to the small shield that he currently has, that would be an increase of 16 defense. That would prop him up to 74. I'm sorry, 78. I was looking at Rygai's screen.
It looks like Rygai stopping in coal might be going to swamp from here. That would be my guess.
Well, at this point, it is now an 87.5% likelihood that Erdrick's armor is in Sharlock Castle.
And rather, I think that's what Rygai is doing. Looks like he's going in the direction of Sharlock at least. Or is he diving grave? That could be the case as well.
Well, he hasn't yet. He is somebody who enjoys offense, so he'll appreciate the fighter's ring. But more pressingly, he will want to see what is deep in there, and we'll know whether or not... Yeah, he's not mucking about, is Rygai. He's just going to cast the Radiant spell, and already knows what's up top there. This is definitely a grave dive.
Alright, I don't remember exactly what enemies are here, but he can get pretty close to that next level just fighting along the way because the grave is quite long.
He'll be able to get it here on this particular one, or this night rather. As, yep, Marashu's doing the gold grind. 5625 is the target number for level 14. 2 more power, 2 speed, 4 hit points, 2 magic points, and there is stop spell, so all levels are obtained by level 14 out of the requisite 16. But Rygai knows that even with that pedestrian level game means that 15 at least will be the level.
Right, he would still be a bit of an underdog here, or I'd say quite the underdog to manage, even with the Death Necklace. That's just a little too much to overtake, I believe.
Alright, the Hurtmore does not take out the Green Dragon, and meanwhile 14,800 has been surpassed, and Marashu's getting on out of there and is going to go for that silver shield.
Actually, no,
the fighter's ring was in the basement, which means that gold was in the middle there, so that means that we definitely have the armor in Sharlock. That is now 100% certainty.
I wonder if he might try... I don't know. I don't think the gold grind is really necessary at this defense level, that he knows where it is. Marashu's a few levels behind and doesn't know where the stats are going. But I think, yes, Sharlock to get the armor, and I don't think he would... I don't know. The resources would be really tight to do a grind and go in that mode, I think.
Yep, Ryguy's just casting outside, not going to bother with the gold grind at this juncture. And he knows that Sharlock is the play. I believe he's seen everything else. So, oh, the excellent dodge on the wizard.
Yeah, if you, without the armor going down, you're usually going to burn a couple of heal mores. I don't think he's anywhere close to that range. So probably just going to saddle up and try to get the armor, leave, and then come back. Oh, Softenham, this is actually a good time to kind of go back over everything. Again, we saw the harp in the treasury, the flute was in the mountain cave, the necklace was also in the mountain cave, the grave had both the fighter's ring and the token, Cole had the sword, the stones were in Hawksness, and there was no overworld coordinates. So right now the armor has to be in Sharlock.
So Marishu still has to find the Rainbow Drop Cave, but otherwise it's been fairly even between the two. Really, the main difference was Rygai getting to level 7 about 6 minutes faster than Marishu, and level 7 had hurt more, and that allowed for the lead to expand here, and Rygai's been doing a lot of fighting while searching, and has expanded that experience lead to about 3,600. Actually, exactly 3,600. And that's right, we have the Pyramid Game. So, something that's kind of taken a life of its own over the course of the last few Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournaments, thanks to game show aficionados like myself and Game Boy F9. We kind of play the chests in the very bottom of Sharlock Castle like the old Winner's Circle values in the X $1,000 pyramid of the game show of the 80s with Dick Clark. So we have our bottom left chest, which is the $50 chest. Our bottom middle is 100. Bottom right is 150. Middle left is 200. Middle right is 250. And the top chest is 300. And if you want to go with that vanilla Erdrick sword spot a few floors up, we call that the judge's table. So I see we have guesses here of 100, 250, 200. Angel is sarcastically going with 300, I believe. We got a couple judges' table guesses in there. So, yeah, exactly. Here is your first subject. Go. Exactly. Famous words from Dick Clark, as well as now Michael Strahan, who's taken over for the revival of the Pyramid on one of the major networks here in the United States.
So I must have missed it before. I guess Rygai has not hit Tablet Cave. We know that our ancestor has pretty much left us just some of his trash. So unfortunately, this is going to be a bit of a lost time for him. But he's still more or less just Sharlock and go at this point.
Well, yeah, he now realizing that this is Erdrick's Herb Garden and is not casting outside because he doesn't have the resources to. So he's going to have to take that long walk.
Erdrick's treadmill.
Well, the treadmill to Erdrick's Herb Garden.
Well, is he going to... It looks like he's going to just have a bit of a swamp bath here and let nature take its course. Or maybe the wyvern will help him out.
Only a little bit.
There we go. That's something.
There it is. Meanwhile, here's level 12 and a nice 16 boost for Marashu in the strength. Double-digit gains in 3 of the 4 categories.
Yeah, levels 12 and 13 were very nice, and then 14 was kind of a snoozer. So we'll see.
Yeah, Erdrick doing his impression of what is it? Lynn Anderson, I believe. I beg your pardon. I never promised you an herb garden. Yeah, I know. I just referenced a song from 50 years ago, but it's a goodie of a country song.
I have never heard of that song before.
It was big back in 1971, I want to say. I'm a radio DJ. These are just things in my proverbial back pocket.
I got you. I'm not, but I'm surprised. No, I guess my family never listened to country music, but enough about that.
Yeah, that was back in the classic country days. And I could go on a whole rant about that, but we have a race going on here. Okay, we've got confirmation from the audience who at least appreciates the classics like me, or may even be old enough to remember the song, unlike me. Yeah, it was played on popular radio too. It was definitely one of those country pop crossover songs back in the early 70s. I mean, it wasn't as big as the mid 70s in country pop crossover, but that's again a whole nother subject for another day. All the more reason to give me a follow so we can chat about fun things like that.
Yes, I highly suggest everybody give Ferran a follow. And Marishu's still trying to find the jerk cave. He did not find it before. Does not know where it is. Honestly, I don't know where it is. I didn't notice when Rygai came across it till he was in it. And it looks like Rygai has chosen to just grind out the next level. If he gets a decent amount of stats and gets a good amount of magic, he could possibly just do Sherlock in one dive. Again, depends on how comfy the enemies are. But he has a pretty decent amount of agility, which should help. And in the meantime, it looks like we are one more Armor Knight away from Rygai getting level 15, which could be our go mode.
Here we go. 6 power, 1 speed, 6 hit points, 16 magic points. Ooh.
That is tight. If you have the armor, I think it's 100% go. But getting the armor both at the same time is a little tricky. You would really have to not expend any resources outside of that mandatory healing you have to do, getting through all the damage tiles.
And just circling back in chat, the weird trucker subgenre. So you were a fan of things like Convoy, the TV series Moving On, what else? Smokey and the Bandit, BJ and the Bear, just to name a few.
Those do all sound like TV shows.
Yeah, a couple of them were, one was a song that eventually became a movie. A couple of them were TV series. Yeah, one was Smokey and the Bandit. That was a big Burt Reynolds movie. Yeah, Mercy Sakes Alive.
back when we made movies off of song titles, I remember Forever Young. I don't remember how many more we had after that. Alright, chat has been chiming in on his chances here. I think, I think if you can get down saving around 10 heal mores, you're probably okay. A little bit less than that, you still got a decent shot. But, oof. Armor Knight's hurt mooring, seeing him right on the first floor is not what you want to see. Granted, the hurt moor is probably doing less damage than its normal attack, but still.
Well, he's going to the herb reserves first, as here comes level 13 for Marashu. Another big 17 game, but you can see not a lot of strength from level 13 to 15, just 8 strength gained.
Alright,
yes, the old trying to take the stairs that haven't yet appeared trick. That's the second time I've fallen for it this month.
So we're going through here. It looks like Rygai is doing pretty well on the first basement floor. We've seen werewolves, we've seen AK-47s. The AKs you don't really want to see because of the run chance, but werewolves aren't too bad at all to get away from.
Well, here we go. Second basement, the diamond floor. And clean until the last step.
And this is where, mentioned before, magic armor versus the full plate for that initial grind. The magic armor is doing some work here, just saving from the extra attacks that the armor knights are doing when they're throwing the hurt ones out. And also just getting a little bit of hit points back. The hit point revival on the way down from Erdrick's armor is extraordinarily useful and sometimes overlooked when you don't have the chance to get to it.
Oh, raggy. These armored knights are not letting Rygai get away. I think he was trying to have his cake and eat it too, in trying to get everything done in one fell swoop. Just pick up the armor and go for game, but I don't know if the game is going to allow that.
And yet another armored knight. That could be, I guess they're taking revenge for the fallen brethren in the swamp cave.
Oh, and another 2 steps. Has to use a heal more here. Is now down to 75 MP. That's 9 heal mores. Oh, and is still having trouble. Yeah, this is where you just take the thing out and cut your losses. It's as much as you want it to happen. Game says no. The rubber band has struck here, especially. We'll see what happens here in the basement.
And realistically, he's not losing anything until.
And he gets away from the red dragon. But can't get away from the stone man. Agility is merely a suggestion. Marishu, meanwhile, trading in for the rainbow drop.
As he has now entered grind and go mode, although, no, it does appear that he has found everything now, because we did confirm he had fully cleared the grave. And Rygai just got the bad news that the armor...
Oh, wow. Erdrick's armor in the judge's table. In the vanilla Erdrick sword chest. And I just had that hunch. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to be the one, but I just had that hunch. Well,
there is a 1 in Actually, I don't know how many chests there are offhand, but there's still always a chance that it can happen. It's not super unlikely, or not as unlikely as anything else, I guess.
And now another heal more having to be used as Rygai struggling to get away from the red dragon.
Right. And at this point, considering all the lengths you had to go to get the armor, I don't think he's done anything out of the ordinary that would differ from a normal dive to get it. He tried to keep the resources. He burned some extra herbs, but Garanham is right on the way from Tantagel. You could also cast outside and walk back if you needed to, so there's some time lost there, but it's not massive. I think that everything he's done to this point, I think he's pretty much done the right thing to try it the way he has, and had just enough luck, I think, to get it going. Just you can't account for this sort of situation necessarily.
And oh look, there's Erdrick's armor, and Rygai immediately casts outside, and is going to cast Return as well. A little bit of a virtual high five. And Rygai figures, alright, this is definitely the level. Let me just stop it and in on the way and get her going.
And so this is an opportunity for Marishu to catch up a little bit of time. It may not be enough considering what we're seeing and know, but the fact that he is looks like he might be thinking about a grind for the armor on the way to possibly get to 15 instead of a dedicated one could save some time, but for right now he's just running from everything.
Chat brings up a good point that Marashu could theoretically check the judges table first. Some runners tend to do that for the proverbial meme. It would be rather lucky in this case if Marashu was to do that. Obviously, it would be going against the odds. I mean, from what Marashu knows, you play the percentages more often than not, exactly. Yeah, get your proverbial Jeff Edwards on and play the percentages. Yes, I know that's only going to pop LOZ Cards fan, the game show aficionado like myself.
Well, it does appear that Rygai has got his resources back and is once again on his way to Charlotte. And it does look like Marashu is trying to fight the Armored Knights at least, probably fighting the enemies that are hard to run from. That tends to be a solid strategy that I've seen most people do when they come down here. If they're going to grind on what you probably can't run from anyway.
See, Marashu's going with a different strategy. He knows that going through here and going for the one route sweep, I guess, is unlikely. And now Rygai's going to use the torch here. Oh, there's the stairs.
Right, Marashu's made it through one floor, which he got hung up a little bit on some of those enemies, and now is he's not worrying about the resources. He's just going at it right now and trying to get the level. If anything, he can always just keep coming back and keep grinding. Not necessarily the way you want to grind, but if a failed dive still gains quite a bit of experience.
Oh, and here's the Armored Knight being the Armored Knight again, and only one... Oh, of course. Gets away on the second go, and a second Armored Knight appears one step later.
It's just knights everywhere right now. Finally, yet another knight, and it seems like we saw them in Zone 1 and Zone 2. I don't remember if we saw any in Zone 3. But we did see red dragons, which are worse.
Yes, what a horrible night to have knights.
And I do believe Marishu has chosen to go to the basement first, so he will be finding his disappointment here imminently.
I mean, what's disappointing about 2 magic keys, a torch, an herb, a dragon scale, and a fairy water? Well, compared to the armor, everything.
Wow. You wrote that down or you remembered that. That's very impressive.
Wild guess.
Alright, yeah, I just saw the dragon scale. But he did not have one before, so hey, 2 defense. I think that difference actually does nothing for the Dragon Lord fight at the moment. I can't quite do the math from Ryguy's perspective. I'd have to kind of double check. Yep, it's that Dragon Scale will be probably irrelevant unless he survives with 1 hit against some random enemy.
So that was my little homage to the Christopher Reeve Superman, as in the alleyway he says to Lois Lane, supposing that man had shot you, referring to a mugger. Is it really worth risking your life over $10, 2 credit cards, a hairbrush, and a lipstick? She asks, how'd you know that? Know what? You just described the exact contents of my purse. And then he said, wild guess. Obviously, he used the Superman X-ray vision to know, but you get the idea.
Nice. And yeah, the Red Dragon, if he had done that dive, if it had been in the treasure area and he got here, he still might not have had the resources just because he would have had to pull through one of those. May not have been fully healed up, etc.
Well, here we go. 12 Healmores, and I would imagine Rygai is going to put on the Death Necklace.
Should be a definite favorite here. Nothing's ever guaranteed, though.
Yep, there it is.
Dragon Lord is getting heavy with the stop spells, being very nice. See, the one hurt more, but that shouldn't cause him to flinch at all at this point.
What happens if you miss... Well, if you miss menu and answer yes to the Dragon Lord, he asks really, just to make sure. And then, yeah, if you select yes again, then the game ends, you soft lock, and you have to reset back to when you last saved. So, yeah, that has happened in tournament races, and it definitely is a feels bad man.
Something you never want to see, really, even as a joke. Although I'm pretty sure more than one player has done it on purpose at some time when they've already lost.
Yeah, it's just one of those things you don't want to do. Just like mismenuing and accidentally casting Hurt More instead of Heal More here. That has happened a lot during this battle.
Yes, we actually had a tournament race in the first round where that happened. And I won't get into details about it, but I think it did cause the difference in the race.
There's another high melee for 46. The Dragon Lord can attack for, I want to say, up to 50. And we have seen it. There's the max roll at 20. I'll admit I didn't catch the beginning, so I don't have a count here, but we know that the Dragon Lord has anywhere between 150 and 165 hit points. And that 14 will do it.
Congratulations to Rygai. I see those GGs in the chat. And within the next 30 seconds or so, we will see a .com.
Yep, GG's for Rygai, who will move to 1-1 with an official race time of 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 18 seconds.
Yes, congratulations once again. He got some luck early on getting to Rimuldar, but a lot of that was just choosing to grind and choosing to gain experience, and that got him hurt more earlier. And other than that, the exploration was good. Pretty much carried the day for him there. A good, strong ending as well.
Well, I mean, it wasn't just knowing to grind, it was knowing when to do so. It took a lot of exploration, gambling to get to Rimuldar as early as he did, and at least having that knowledge allowed him to get keys quicker, allowed him to get gold quicker, and eventually get the gold grind to be able to get the broadsword to allow for that attack to grind to get to level 7.
Right, with an low attack seed, if you get a chance to get out of that, that definitely seems like the way to go. And it took a few failed attempts in Mountain before he was able to get the one chest, and that was all he needed to get that money.
So apparently there's some feedback or echo. We'll have to see about that.
Oh, it must be because Rygai has turned on the stream and is hearing us now. And now he's hearing me point it out.
Oh, I see. So Rygai's watching the stream, so he is watching you watching us right now. And therefore listening to you listening to us, so you get to listen to us twice.
Oh, we're good now. The audio's over to Marishu, who, if I believe right, is he back in Sherlock? Is he going right now? I think he is.
Yeah, the armor was picked up, and now it is the dive for game here.
This is a bit tighter than it was for Rygai, but it's certainly doable, especially if he maintains all of those heal mores. And so far, so good, having a very comfortable walk through Sherlock. And as soon as I say that, the Armored Knight shows up and he gets away. No problem whatsoever.
And now a back attack, hurt more, slight problem, the old commentator's curse bit. Looks like Rygai will join us here, but first he is getting a hydration refill.
Yes, I do not mean to curse, but there's definitely a lot of Armor Knights here, so it would be hard for him not to get stuck by one of them, which this one looks to be the unfortunate one. And he's thinking, nope, he's going ahead and doing it. I think he can lose one and still have a reasonable shot here.
And with that, we are joined by Rygai, GG, and I guess we're going to start with a question that everybody's wanted me to ask. What, within the limits of RPG Limit Break, was your reaction when you went into the Sharlock basement and saw there was no armor there?
Yeah, well, every treasure chest built the drama, of course. I mean, I don't know, in a weird way, it was sort of nice, because those Armored Knights were really plaguing me, especially in that second zone. I was kind of low on resources that dive, so I was kind of thinking that this could get sketchy if I have to burn another heal more somewhere along the way, and, boy, having to go back to Judge's Table kind of made it clear, like, we're doing this again, huh? So, and the second time was much more straightforward, much more resources, so... yeah, I think I was down to like my last heal more. Maybe I was right on the number the first time. So in a very weird way, it was kind of like, I guess I have an excuse to redive this now.
So it was more of a relief of, okay, I don't have to make a difficult decision of fighting the Dragon Lord, possibly dying and losing time. Although, little did you know, I mean, things are... Well, Marishu seemed to have an issue there. I'd stepped away for a brief moment, but... yeah, Marashu has pretty much everything set. Is currently at level 14.
Yeah, 14 seems maybe a little bit tough, but maybe. I mean, I did have like 3 extra heal mores when I finished, so if he has the armor ready.
Yeah, he did make the trek deep and then went and got the armor, and then I think left and now is presumably going for game. Where things kind of spread, or I guess kind of, where you had built your lead was early on finding Rimuldar and having money to purchase keys.
I mean, that was such a weird, seed, but start overall, because I had no idea if anything I did at the beginning was genius or just really, really dumb. I mean, I think I had that hand axe money, and so I wanted to go look for a town, but I believe a slime hurt moored me before I could blink. I did have money to purchase keys. I did feel lucky to wander straight to Rimuldar, except, I get back to the castle and I find there's not really anything important in the treasure. I think there's like a silver harp, but whatever, you can get that anytime you need it. So I felt like keys didn't help much initially, except to get that fairy water, which I didn't help because everything had heal near the first zone. And then it kept me from... I kind of forced that gold grind, and it took a while to do that. And little did I know the sword was just north of Rimuldar, so I'm like, if I hadn't seen Rimuldar, maybe I could have gotten the sword like half an hour ago. It was just weird. Like, I had no idea if anything I did was useful or not.
I believe that what you were doing with the mountain cave, we saw you go back there quite a few times, and I think that ended up paying off for you, because you got to that gold grind and got some gear, and even though you were, replaced the sword pretty quick, I think that helped to carry through a lot of the seed.
Yeah, it was definitely nice that Erdrick's armor was in Sharlock, because that magic armor ended up being useful for a very, very long time. But that's another one where I just don't know how long I'm supposed to hit my head against the mountain cave wall there. I know I only needed the one treasure chest, and it's got to be possible to get to that sooner or later, but the wizards and stonemen were having none of it. And then, of course, I come to find out there were, like, drakeys and scorpions and something else that's super easy to run from. Like, where have these been for the last 10 minutes?
Well, something that had there was a bit of a discussion in chat. Did it ever cross your mind when you had the keys and were able to buy more and had access to the back of Tandagel, knowing that gold chest was in the basement, did a slow grind to maybe 1,500 to go back to Rimuldar to purchase the broadsword? Was that something that had ever crossed your mind as an option?
So it did, but I recognized that there was a gold grind possible. I get you just one little chest in Mountain Cave, and I was like, man, I'm going to have to go back into this place 3 times, like 3 times into freebie, like, it's going to take a long time. It's got to be faster to get to that one little chest in Mountain, right? Right? And maybe it wasn't. But at least I got magic armor out of it with the Mountain Cave, so...
Okay, so at least it was a consideration. But once you'd seen that was the mountain cave and there was presumably easy access to that first chest, it just made more sense to get the chest, death warp, and then go right in for the... Okay, so that... There were definitely 2 schools of thought on that, and we just weren't sure if both of those options had been weighed out or if you just kind of went with that from the start and were just all right, I'm going to run through a brick wall to do it.
Yeah, it would have been. I also felt like if I had done the broadsword, it wouldn't have helped me for my little attempt at gold grind there. So if it was something like maybe a half plate or a large shield, that might have made it a little more interesting of a decision. Although I don't know if those help that much against stonemen and wizards anyway. But yeah, I was thinking like getting to that first chest in mountain has to be as fast as doing 3 of these grinds, right? And then I'll get extra stuff too. And then lo and behold, Mountain Cave was having none of it. But the other thing that I wasted time on, Lorgon has in chat there. I definitely considered skipping Tablet and playing the odds in Sharlock, but I was thinking, like, since I had no clue where I was, if I was doing well or doing terrible, because like I said, the start was who the heck knows. I really didn't want to get to the bottom of Sharlock and find out that there was nothing there, and I had to go back out for Tablet. The other thing that I considered, too, was even though Tablet was just one treasure chest, it seemed like there were a lot of Sharlock enemies out that I could hurt more and kill, so I knew that wasn't going to be as fast as an Armored Knight grind, but I felt like I could look for Tablet and get, like, some experience on the way at least, so I decided to go for Tablet and, get the empty, but make sure that I was going to get an armor when I got to the bottom of Sharlock, like, for sure.
And our restreamer High Spirits noting, good news, you got to the bottom of Sherlock and still didn't find the armor.
Do you know what my heart rate would have been if I had gotten to the bottom of Sharlock and not found the armor and hadn't done Tablet Cave? Like, holy cow, you would have been able to hear it from all the way over there.
Among other things that I'm sure we might have heard somehow slip through, even though your mic was muted.
That was my heartbeat, I swear.
Oh, look, there's the Red Dragon Guardian.
One of the few times I was happy to see a red dragon.
And there's that annoying heal.
And what a combination for a red dragon to have hurt and heal. Just very, very comfy and low there.
Well, as long as it doesn't melee.
Yeah, correct. It looks like he's got the resources. I think he might be able to get this. He's not quite has as many hit points as you did, Rygai, but he's got just about everything else. There's a little bit more strength, which helped, and a little bit more magic resources, which probably would have been the big thing for him where he is right now. But it's still got, I think, a little bit of a favorite here.
Well, Marishu also did the gold grind to get a second gold grind to get the silver shield. So that 10 extra defense means that the most that the Dragon Lord's going to melee for is probably 48, I want to say.
Yeah, this seems pretty dependent on the opening double, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm glad the Dragon Lord hit me for 51 as a nice little reminder that I couldn't attack on 51. That was kind of him.
Oh, but there's a back attack. All right, 16 to start. So that's a high roll because it's 8 to 17 damage range here. And another 14, so we're at 30. Uh, 43. Seven heal mores left. Oh, and there's a low roll of 10, 53. Now up to 64. Needs to use another heal more. Now up to 80. But only 4 more heal mores left. Well, there's a high roll of 95. $108. Yeah, this is going pretty okay. Given the damage range, now that one, of course, isn't. 118. Now down to 1 more heal more after this. This is a little dicey. There's 130. $146. Last attack. does it at 159.
Wow, I thought that was going to be pretty tight. GG's Marishu.
There were definitely a few things clenched on that one. And 151 was the Dragon Lord 2's HP number. Which I think, watching that, we all needed some 151. But they don't make it anymore. And there we go. Marashu is going to take second place. Is going to fall to 0-2, but certainly a gallant effort. An official race time of 1:43.44.
Yes, GG's to Marashu. Got through, finished it one level earlier than Rygai, which is a good effort there. Had a pretty good run the first time, but those AKs just kind of tied him down.
And, wow, just that quickly joining the booth with us here.
Yeah, GG.
GG's Marishu. That was quite the finish I tuned in for there. Good job there.
Wish I could have tuned in for yours, but I might have been a bit busy.
Mine was boring.
So, I'm just gonna make a guess right now that if Jerk Cave was where Tablet Cave was, or if Armor was in Tablet Cave, it might have been a different race. That's my guess. That's my feeling on how the seed went.
Well, you're not completely wrong there. I believe that you found the tablet cave before Rygai did. Rygai actually took a whole special run back to get to it, finding nothing, and then the jerk cave took you quite a while there at the end. But I think the tenor of the race for the most part was that Rygai got to Rimuldar first and got the gold grind first and got the sword first. And got to Hurtmore first. Just everything. Some of it, there was a little bit with Rimuldar, actually trying to go out there that benefited him. But a lot of it was there was a grind, a little bit of experience gaining that he got to Hurtmore a little bit earlier than you did, where I think you were doing a little bit more exploration than he was at that time.
Yeah, because it's my habit to do so, I started my exploration the level before Hurtmore.
Right, and it just always seems like that's when it happens, doesn't it? The moment you think, now's the time, I got the sword, I can walk around and I can find some stuff, and then Hurtmore is just a few enemies around the corner.
The sword helped get there. So, were you able to kill one of the ghosts at the start, or were you stuck on the Hurtmore slimes along with me?
So I hero walked to Rimuldar really quickly and had a torch from there, and the treasury had a fairy water, so instead I spent my time throwing fairy waters at things that healed themselves, like that Drakima and that Droll that just fairy water, let me heal myself, and then hurt more you. So yeah, that was how I spent my first part of the seed.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know that we even had enough HP to get through the swamp, which is why I was like, I'm gonna wait a couple levels.
Well, I call it a hero walk because I think I wandered into Rimuldar with, it must have been 3 HP, because I remember when I first found it, I accidentally walked out and took 2 damage, and then my second trip in, I had to actually stay in Rimuldar because I couldn't survive walking out and walking back in to get to that treasure chest, so I must have gotten there with 3 HP.
Wow.
It was definitely exciting to watch the differences, too. There were a lot of things that Rygai found earlier, but then struggled a bit with. I believe, was it 3 or 4 attempts at Mountain Cave before you got that chest? But I think Marishu got the first 2 on the first try.
Oh, it was a lot of tries through Mountain Cave to get that one silly chest.
I think my first try I got the first one. Second try I got 2. Third try I didn't get any. Fourth try I think I got the other 2, and then I didn't get that last one until I had until I'd cleared out Grave at the very least.
All right, yeah, there was definitely a lot of struggle points there. You were able to, I think, yeah, you went full clear on the grave. I think one of the first opportunities you have there where Rygai didn't. What were you thinking about at that point? Because I think you were still fairly weak stat-wise.
I mean, I killed a couple of green dragons while I was in there, and got some levels out of that. So, figured I'm here. Armor might be here. I need to check. I need to try.
All right. Well, sometimes those grave dives, they work out right off the bat. So, yeah, you were able to. Again, it wasn't like it was a clear line. There were points where you were catching up and gaining on exploration. In fact, I think, with the exception of the elusive raindrop cave, there you were ahead in exploration for a good portion of the race. It was just, I think Rygai at one point settled down, and what was it? Was it nights that you were farming there out in that desert?
Yeah, so once I got that one silly treasure chest, I'm pretty sure I had been murdered by like Wraith Knights or something in that desert. So I was like, oh, I've got my magic armor, I've got my... Oh no, sorry, that's when I found him. I got my magic armor and broadsword, and I couldn't kill them. I was looking for like that warlock, actually. Sorry, I was looking for the warlock. I see him in the plains. I was hoping to find him in the desert. I saw that whole zone with like Wraith Knights and Knights, and I was like, I can't kill these yet. But I was close enough to kill, like, I don't know, whatever else was hanging around. I think I eventually found wolves or something. And then, yeah, once Hurtmore showed up, I was like, well, I could go back into Mountain, or remember where I saw all those Knights and Wraith Knights? Yeah, let's go kill some of those. So did that for a while, and it was always like, I should explore, but it's like 2 more to the next level. Like, I should explore, but it's like 4 more to the next level, and just did that for a little while.
And that allowed you to get a nice experience lead that just kind of kept on coming.
Yeah, it sounds like a winning strategy to me.
Well, only in retrospect. Like I said, the first like half hour is like, I have no idea if I've done anything good or if it's all been just totally horrible. Like, this could go either way. I have no clue.
When I got level 2, 8 minutes in, I was like, I don't know about this one.
Well, that sounds familiar. I was doing a lot of errands at the beginning, too. It took me a while to get level 2 as well.
Yeah, it was definitely entertaining, but in the sort of dark entertainment fashion, just watching, enemy after enemy, slime hit for one, and then it does hurt more and get sent back, and then just over and over there. It seemed like once that first hurdle got over, though, the seed really opened up once you're able to get a couple levels. Even though the strength never really showed up till almost the end, the sword find in Cole was very nice for the pace of this race.
Yeah, and I also feel like everything was kind of lined up really well. Like, you could just kind of follow the seed all the way to the end. Unfortunately, at the very last stop, I took a right instead of a left.
And that is true. We didn't find the Jerk Cave or the Rain Cave, I believe, until after everything else was already collected. So there wasn't that much backtracking. Marishu, I'm actually wondering, did you do any grinding? I think you got all of your levels while you were exploring, didn't you?
I did grind a level when I went back to Swamp just to check the tile there. I did a little bit of grinding then, but yeah, there were just so many green dragons, so many axe knights, just so many things I found in my exploration that just enjoyed being hurt more. So I was repelling away all the lower tier things. We got repelled pretty early, and yeah, axe knights, green dragons, all over the place. They were a pretty good experience for exploring.
All right, that definitely sounds like yeah, there wasn't really much need for a grind, at least not after Hurtmore. And I mean that's I guess how a Hurtmore seed turns up. You either find something really juicy to grind on, or you just start exploring right off the bat. So, did you, as far as the items go, again with the armor? When you were getting ready to go to Sharlock, what were you thinking? Because I think you were 13 initially when you first took the dive.
I was thinking, I hope I didn't forget another check.
That's what always goes through my head when I search the Charlock treasury and I'm going to like the judges table. I was like, it better be here. I really hope I didn't forget something obvious.
Speaking of that, did it seem like, and I'm trying to remember because it was a while ago, on your first trip to the grave, Marishu, did you miss the token? And did you have to go back for that?
I only did one attempt on grave.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of something else then. My apologies.
I did multiple for mountain, but only one for grave.
All right, my apologies on that. I guess I might have, the way it looked, I thought that was a little bit different. So, yeah, we definitely needed the necklace. The no coordinates helped to speed things up because it wouldn't have taken too much to get to Gwaelin, I think. But the way that the map was laid out, it would have been kind of a curly walk to get to wherever it was if it wasn't nearby.
Yeah, I think it was a really interesting map, though. Kind of chuckled when I came out of Swamp South.
I forgot about that. I think I did an extra loop around Swamp North just for fun. I was like, yeah, there we go again. That's like, I feel like that's my second tournament seed where I've had Swamp North and Swamp South like that close together. So I was pretty enjoyable. It was pretty enjoyable. I'm glad also we didn't have another swamp continent to look at because that's always confusing. Like, do I check swamp? Do I check main? Oh, they're the same thing. Awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky to make that call. And I'm glad that Swamp North was the one that's very easy to recognize from the overworld, because if they'd been the other way around, I might have not realized it was Swamp Cave going to that like kind of generic exit where Swamp South was.
Yeah, that was it was good they were in that order. I think I commented that if they were in the opposite order, it would have made more sense logistically, at least, since South was just north of North.
Paradox Swamp.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey,
Fun
GG.
times.
Yes, GG to both of you. Fran, do you have any last thoughts or any questions?
No, I think that pretty much wraps everything up here. Thank you to High Spirits for the restream, Archfield Monk for the tracking. Make sure to give both of them a follow, as well as our two runners, Marashu_online and ryguy3745. And for my broadcast partner, who you also want to follow, Aaron2U2, you can give me a follow as well. I'm apparently interesting from what I'm told. I'm Ferran Burgundy. Thank you for tuning in here to RPG Limit Break. We're going to now take you over to Randomania 2, where we have more Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament action, 12:35 against Apex Corvid. And if you want to do some multi-screen action fun, over on Randomania, we also have a DWR race, JJ Schmidt 77 against Monsieur Slime. So plenty of action coming your way in just a matter of minutes. Thank you for tuning in. For everyone here at RPG Limit Break, stay classy, my friends, and more importantly, stay safe. Good night, everyone.
Good night.